Do children really learn languages faster than adults? Hello, I'm Julian Northbrook from doingenglish.com. One very common concern that my coaching clients tend to come to me with is that they are worried that they are too old to reach the level in English that they want to reach. What they are touching upon here is an idea in linguistics called the critical period hypothesis. I'm not going to get into this in detail in this video because it's not what I want to talk about. But this idea basically says that your brain changes at a certain point, commonly believed to be puberty, and therefore you are unable to learn languages, or at least in the same way as you could when you were a child. This is an incredibly complex theory, and one that has been bounced around for decades, and one which has never conclusively been proven, and we probably never will be able to come up with a hard and solid it's true or it's not answer. The general thinking, and certainly the thinking on my side of the research camp, is that it's not really true, or at least not in the hardcore language is this special thing embedded in the human genome camp of people. But where this becomes a problem is when people start to interpret ideas that come from research, put one and one together and come up with 20. Good example of this. A couple of years ago, I made a video called Are You Too Old to Learn English? Linked up about here. In that video, I said that age is irrelevant and it's not something that you should worry about. And I stand by that opinion. But the top comment on that video essentially says, while I agree that you shouldn't worry about age, there is lots of established research that proves children are better, faster, do it easier at learning languages than adults. Now, what does this actually mean? Think about this for a moment. Yeah, there is plenty of research out there that shows that kids learn fast. They learn faster than adults. And this is often being put forward as an argument for the critical period hypothesis. But again, think about this just for a moment. Say I decided to do a research project asking, do married people get divorced more often than single people? What do you think the result of that is going to be? I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? You've got to be married in order to get divorced. Therefore, if you're single, you can't get divorced. Well, of course, there's going to be a higher rate of divorce in married people. All I've proved here is that I have set up a research project comparing apples to oranges, and the conclusion I've come to is pineapples. i.e., I've proved absolutely nothing. And this is the problem when it comes to doing research with children and comparing them to adults. In order for a research study to be able to show, do children learn languages faster and better and easier than adults, well, those studies would have to be set up in a way that actually gives us the result that we want to get. i.e., the two groups of people would have to be learning the same things for the same amount of time, using the same methods, all with the same kind of background knowledge and in exactly the same conditions. But this just isn't possible because adults and children are not the same. We're never going to be able to do a study which looks at these two groups under the same kind of conditions because they are fundamentally different. And although there is research that shows, yes, children learn faster, the most likely reason for that is actually not that their brains are completely different and therefore they are able to learn languages at supersonic speed, but rather that actually they have more time, fewer responsibilities, and less going on in their heads. Children are concerned with asking if they can have a biscuit. Adults are in meetings negotiating billion-dollar deals. You can't come up with conclusions that mean anything under those conditions. So when we see comments like the one that I've just discussed, really the only conclusion that you can come to from that is that the commenter doesn't really understand the research. But the problem is as I said, we see these things and we put one and one together and come up with 20, i.e. we start to feel inadequate, bad about ourselves because we believe suddenly, oh, here's this research that proves only children can do this, I'm not a child, therefore perhaps I can't do it, perhaps it's impossible. Doubt creeps in and we tell ourselves it's just not worth the effort, it can't be done anyway, and we quit. Hopefully you can see that that is rather foolish thinking, and while I'm not criticising the commenter of that particular comment, it's not a good comment because it doesn't actually tell us anything useful whatsoever. If you want some solid advice about things that you can do to see improvement in your English, head over to doingenglish.com/free training to check out my free training, where I will teach you the 5 key changes that you need to make to the way that you approach and use English in order to see real progress with your English speaking. Alternatively, if you are ready to take things to the next level, work with me directly, either as one of my coaching clients or as a member of one of my coaching groups, head over to doingenglish.com/talk to book a time to talk to me directly about you and your English and see whether we are a good fit to work together and whether I can help you to get your English goals finished, done, accomplished, and get you actually out there doing real stuff in the real world. This is me, Julian Northbrook, signing out from another video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.